Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. Here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today is my witchy review. We're going to do a good old fashioned book review. This is something I personally had my eyes on for some time. It's called Wild Wisdom Companion. Um, oh, let me shut down this thing. Anyway, Wild Wisdom Companion. Um, I got my alerts going on. I gotta remember to do that. Anyway, so the let me okay. First off, I love the book. The illustrations I'm about to get into it and the little stuff. I love books that come with stuff. As a kid, is a little bit more than you planned on it and expected. But it says it's a guided journey into the mystical rhythms of the natural world, season by season. Includes 28 oracle cards. This is so cute, and it has a little bonus thing in here. So this, I went to Barnes and Noble, so let's just start there. Spirit, one would say, led me to Barnes and Noble. I was out Friday night, last night, yeah, actually, or I should say evening. I was out, had a little, little something to drink after work, and little bite to eat to kind of unwind for the week because I've been working so much. Like I felt like the week went by. I just slept and work, which is not good. But yeah. Anyway, that was my life. So yeah. So I said, you know what? Let me go over there, and I have this in my. This was already in my wish list on Amazon, and I knew I was planning on doing something with it, but I never got around to getting it. I don't know why, because you know what part I wanted to see it in person. So anyway, long story short, I didn't go in there for this per se, but I wanted to see what they had in the book area. First of all, Barnes and Noble has pared down so much. If you haven't noticed, it's hardly anything in the store anymore as far as like witchcraft books. And then if you go over to the little discounted section, they actually have quite a few more things over there than they used to that are marked for $10. I was tempted, but I didn't want it because I didn't feel like it was relevant information to me. And I don't buy things just to necessarily get on here and talk about unless I want them. So yeah, but they did have some books over there that if you are looking for some budget friendly items, you might find them over there. But all in all, I think that Barnes and Noble is expensive compared to Amazon. And it's not that I love Amazon, I am an affiliate, but it's not necessarily that I love the company. But I'm like everybody else, I'm trying to make smart decisions about my money and also be aware of my conscience about things on where I'm giving my money to. But right now on Amazon, as much as I hate it, has won out a lot of times with my books. By the way, you can find the link for this in the description for Amazon. I am an affiliate, so don't look at it like you're helping Amazon. You're helping me. Anyway, let's get into this book. So it says, "What can change in a year? You." I love that. Let me just read the book on the back here. It's pretty. Call on the wild wisdom of the natural world to feel in tune and at peace season after season. Maya Toole, the person that wrote the book, offers unique insights into the distinctive qualities and spirit of every stage of the year and shows you how to thrive during each one by drawing on the powers of herbs, animals, crystals, elements, and your body's own energy centers. Allow your intuition and insights to reveal themselves, illuminating your truth and bringing you into balance. The part about your body's own energy centers registered with me because I've been kind of making that a thing a little bit more. The more I talk about witchcraft and being a witch is not the way to enlightenment, the way to having master level spells and awesome rituals and mind blowing experiences does not have to do with you somehow leaving your body. Your body is not a way place or just, oh, when I get to this other place, then I'll be free. You shouldn't look at your body like that. It's your first home on this plane of existence during this time. This is its home. And I don't look at it as a prison for my spirit. And the only times that I truly feel free is when, I'm astral projecting or I'm in some sort of deep meditation, prayers, things like that, where I feel like I'm reaching out of my body and out of myself. I don't feel comfortable I don't think that's a good way to approach things. So anyway, when I read that, I was like, okay, this is where it's at for me because that's kind of how I think. So let's just get into the design of the book, the colors, the illustrations. By the way, the illustrator is Kate O'Hara. I love that print. I love it so very much. Like, not that I would ever rip this book up because I like how it's framed, but please know, if I were, I would be using a lot of this imagery because it is just so awesome and divine. Look at that. So there's all, okay, let's just get into what's in the book and why I find this just, it just aesthetically is doing everything for me. The colors, the illustrations, the information in the book. So it's not just, you know, the aesthetic that I'm in love with, but let's just start here, shall we? It says, this book is essentially about time. It was written, however, in a strange little eddy of history when time was flowing in none of the usual ways. During the spring of 2020, as we were facing a global pandemic, time moved in neither a line nor a circle. If it weren't for the turning seasons outside my window, I would have truly been lost. Thank you to the earth and the sun for continuing to dance. This one's for you, and she dedicated it to her Aunt Gloria for making the season sacred. You are alive in so many hearts. And I love that because that's like spot on to, right, what's going on or what has been going on. Fun fact, I get so confused sometimes because to me 2020 and 21 seem like one extension, like one long year. It was a 2-year year. So much that when someone, I know I think so much about it because if you tell me that, oh, you know, 10 years ago, I think 10 years from 2020, not from 2022. So that's already a problem. But I realized I was like, this time thing is really something where it's subjective. And I don't know, well, if you're part of modern society and you have a job or children who go places, unless you are completely off the grid, it's more about seasons, the phase of the moon and the sun for you. But for the rest of us, it's really hard to ignore it. The daily time, like the hour and minutes, I'm constantly thinking about that irritates me. And when I start doing that, I kind of just, you know, stop. Like when I'm working on a project, I'm very aware that it's been an hour, it's been 2 hours. And I'm like, why am I rushing? Like, what am I going to? Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Wheel of the Year, though, for me, makes me not focus on time, but seasons. And it's a wheel, so it's, you know, circular, so we can come back as long as, you know, you get to live here, as long as, you know, this body that a lot of us, our bodies that a lot of us struggle with connecting with and being comfortable in. Yeah. As long as you're still in that body, you get to be a part of everything, the next season, the next phase. So, getting into this book, I want to just take you to the first part where she goes over practicing in the introduction, things to practice. So she talks about a sense of the sacred, your toolkit, practice 1, invite your fear to tea. And practice 2, create a symbol dictionary. So she's giving you things to do. Step 3, practice 3, step into your journey. Compost what you don't need is the step 5. Steps, practice. I keep saying step. Practice 6, work with your wild wisdom cards, which is what I'm about to get into. So this is what I was just reading. So let's talk about these wild wisdom cards. So now, in the back of the book, and I opened it because I wanted to see ahead of time, but we have this little envelope right here, right, with some vellum paper, which I think is really nice. So let me show you what's inside. First, we have this, which I think is so cute. So this is the Wild Wisdom Companion Seasonal Wheel. So I got it right now. Let's put it on early summer, right? Hopefully you can see that. So element fire, energy center, crown. And then down here, they give us some information. It says the plant is the mullein Is that how you pronounce it? Mullein. I know what that is. I've never heard anyone say it. I've just read it. When you're an avid reader, you know how to spell words, you know the meanings, you know how to use them, but sometimes actually pronouncing them, that's a mess. Um, Animal, horse, crystal, hematite. Featuring guidance from the book. Oh, yeah, they're just telling you what it's from. But yeah, so this is early summer, which is where we are now, right? And then let's go to late summer to see peek ahead. So late summer, the element is fire into water. Energy center is heart. Okay, and then down here, it says the plant is apple, the animal is elephant, and the crystal is rose quartz and morganite. So that's one part. So let me get to these cards. I didn't break them apart. I'm going to show you in a minute what I mean, because I wanted to show y'all first. Although I'm breaking them apart a little bit as I'm holding them. So they come, I'm getting wrapped up in my chair. They come like this, so we're going to break them apart now because they're already starting to come apart. Let me just do it now. Okay, so we're going to go over the cards. So these are oracle cards, and we'll just see how we feel about them, okay? So I'll start there. I just mixed them up, but this is what the cards look like. And these are the back oracle cards. Really cool, right? 28 oracle cards. So the first one says summer solstice, and it tells you what page to go to in the book. The sun. Hopefully you can see that. Isn't that so? The artwork. Can we just talk about the artwork? Look at that. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Anyway, so that's that one. So let's do it. So before I go into a whole thing, we're just going to go ahead and go to page 127. What are they trying to tell me to do as it relates to this card? 127. Oh, I'll show y'all more about this book in a minute. Anyway, so first off, this is the page. So it's like, like a tarot deck or something like that. You get the or oracle card. They give you the information about the card, but this is what's on the card right here. Is that not just awesome? Anyway, let me get to it. So once upon a time, a hawk sat on a mountain, and I'll just hold this up so you know what I'm talking about. I am getting wrapped up on my chair armrest. Anyway, once upon a time, a hawk sat on a mountain, stretching his wings in the warmth of the sun. Below him, the foothills rolled in a kaleidoscope of greens. The hawk saw rabbits nibbling the grass and grouse hiding in the brambleberry. He smelled the primrose and gentian as he gazed at the abundance of the world spread like a map before him. The sun reminds you to turn outward and see the broad sweep of all that has been created. On the summer solstice, the energy of thriving reaches a crescendo. This is the apex of light, with all the green things soaking up warmth and abundance. Acknowledge what you have created and celebrate your seasons of growth. Now, if you know anything about me, or if you've seen this channel before, and if not, I'll tell you, I am a seasonal witch as well. I practice my witchcraft by the wheel of the year. So this is the time, all those spells we talked about. We're going to start, let's say, we'll go back as far as the fall, right? Because that's after summer. So the fall. So the fall was a lot of, for me, it's actually the Witch's New Year occurs for me, for most of us, a lot of us witches. It's a time of celebration still, but a different type of celebration. For me, for a lot of us, we get to see people, or see, a quote, when the veil is thin, people who've moved on, maybe people we don't know but who have been looking out for us. It's a time to commune with other witches. A lot of us are kind of on one accord around that time, around October. We are Witches Unite. We are in it, right? We're excited about Halloween, Samhain, what have you, All Souls Day, all of that. So we're all in. But the spell work, the magic that you're doing at that time, if you really think about what you're doing, a lot of it, at least for me, a lot of it is starting something new, goal setting, starting new projects, because I said the Witch's New Year, right? So I'm The same way you approach January 1st is sort of how I approach October 31st. So that's kind of the kickoff. And then everything you do is like, okay, I'm just trying to craft a certain life. I'm trying to get this project going. I'm trying to do this, whatever it is. And then you come around into Yule, and Yule forces you to kind of focus more on self-care. So like you've been ramping up, but you need to kind of balance out a little bit. With Yule, be a little bit more quieter. Your magic's a little bit more quieter. It's more about probably divination. It's more about not so much of you seeing the future, although that's a part of it. But to me, it's more about kind of let's take a be a little bit more introspective. Let's take a look at where we are now. Kind of a little bit more grounding. That's how I feel about the Yule and around that time in the winter. And then spring comes and we're all excited again. Come on, let's get back in the saddle. Let's go for a ride. We're ready to go. Let's make sure these goals are happening. And then here we are, summer. Oh my gosh, and this is a time for the bonfires that have magical meanings. Burning candles, yes, with it so much more intent. I don't want to say so much more, that doesn't sound right. With a lot of intention, focus on, to me, gratitude, and kind of just not so much taking stock like you do in the fall, but more like gratitude of taking stock. And sharing and just more celebratory right now. I don't know. That's my magic has a lot to do with that right now. Ritual wise, I think about that sort of stuff. I do a lot of protection work, but right now it's kind of like I have to believe that all that work, the guards that I've put up, they're in force. It's happening. Like we're good now. But anyway, so that's just from the first card. And you can see how I kind of just spiraled from that. So I'm already excited about this, but I said something about autumn. Here's the early autumn card. Is that not breathtaking? Yo, I love me some good illustrations. It's something about this that appeals to me. This is the late autumn card. Late winter. Remember, I just ripped them apart, so they're not really in order right now. But that's okay. Ooh, the door. Early spring. I like that a lot. Oh, the Alchemist, late spring. Ooh, pretty. So pretty. And then the Harvest, late summer. Okay, that makes sense. You know, reaping. It's the reaping time, right? August, that's the reaping time. What does that look like as far as spell work? Well, it could look like how you want it to look like, but how I recommend and how I suggest, not recommend, reaping spells and things like that is calling in your power, you know, that sort of thing. It's a lot of, I think that's where my hedge witchery comes into play, because there's a lot of like connection to the physical things that I see, plant life, things like that, and then making connections to goals and things of that nature and sort of seeing it manifest. I know it sounds a little, that's the esoteric anyway, but I'm trying to do my best to explain that. But anyway, check that out. Late autumn. And it says the Phoenix, the dreaming, early winter. Yes. I love these cards. I love these cards. Oh, I love these cards so very much. And then late winter, the crossroads. Ooh. Pretty. The late spring. And it's the lodestone. And early summer, the council, the owls. I know some people who have an affinity to owls. It's just something. I don't want to say it's just something about it, because that doesn't. It's a little bit more deeper than that for them. They have an affinity for that animal, that specific animal. I know some people it's like snakes and things like that. The traveler, late summer. Oh my gosh. I am in love with these cards, y'all. Winter solstice, the moon. Nice. And then we have the elders, early autumn. I like that. It gives autumn, right? And then early winter, the womb. Ooh. Nice, right? And then, oh, I love this one. The maker, late winter. Look at that. Look at that. Hi, the Princess Diaries and people and big. Thank you from the UK. Hey. And then early spring, the Fool. I did not know these cards would look like this. I didn't. That's why I'm glad. Sometimes although I couldn't see inside, but I could kind of peek a little bit. then it's better to see it instead of going to Amazon. But look at this one. What are the? This is the Star Early Summer. So this is where we are now, guys. This is us. Well, if you're in this hemisphere. The Witch Late Summer. Ooh, tell me this is not everything. This card is gorgeous. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, the withdrawing autumn equinox. Look at that. Oh, and then early autumn, the mermaid. Okay, then we have late autumn, the descent. Ooh. And then the hearth, early winter. Love that. Early spring, the wind. It's nice. The staircase, late spring. Interesting. And finally, we have one. We haven't had a lot with like people, right? Early summer, the warrior. Now let's get into this one. Early summer, the warrior. Don't it feel like that's us right now? Just trying to get through with your mental, your emotions intact right now is like super difficult. But before I get into that, because I'm about to get into that, I do want to show you something fun about the book. So right now, this is just the spring section, right? So do you notice this cute little folder? I don't know why this does it for me, and it's thicker. But yeah, you could put like, I guess the cards here or some other notes or things like that you wrote down. And the illustration is killing me. I love it so much. It's so cute. I love it. I love it so much. I really do. This is the one for summer. Hold on. So so you don't get one of those little holders for every season, it appears. It's only, oh no, you do. I'm wrong. Look, I just wasn't in the right spot. So this is early summer. Look at the imagery. Look at this. It's so gorgeous. Oh my God, it fills my heart with joy. Early summer, and they go into it, and they talk about the element of fire, the energy center crown. Remember I read about that, so it gives us some more information here. What I like from books like this is like, give me something to do. Give me an activity. So it talks about seasonal practice, stretch between earth and sky. So the crown energy center is balanced by the root energy center. So you can tune up your whole system by opening both at the same time. To connect with your root energy center, stand with your feet firmly on the ground, rooted down through your heels and toes. Imagine roots rippling down into the earth. Next, stretch through your spine and raise your arms in a V shape. Imagine light pouring down the funnel of the V as your crown energy center opens, igniting the spark that lives within you. Beautiful. So that's a nice exercise, and I'm all about movement. This is also another part of my practice. Not that you shouldn't be moving around more often than all here, but especially during this time, I think it's important, like that heat movement, and definitely moving your body. Yes, stretching, getting close. I don't know. I would say getting more, feeling more comfortable with your body. Practicing sex magic, sensuality, rituals, and things of that nature. Like that hot summer, that it's the time, y'all. This is the time. Get into it. Writing and reflection. So there's a section, how does energy flow to my crown energy center? And then they talk about animal medicine, a horse, Mr. Frosty, what up, homies? Hi. Crystal medicine, hematite, and they go into that. I'm still just in the summer section. And then they're just giving more the cards, the meanings for those cards, the owl one that I showed you. And then we go into late summer, and it gives some information there. So this is like a really cool book. Oh my God, when I flipped through, I was like, oh my God, I love this. Here are some of the other books. I was thinking about getting the herbarium that is listed here. Now that I've gotten this one, I think I want it. They even give you a spread to try out. Is that not gorgeous? It's so cute. New Beginnings card spread. They just one. And then they give you this in case you weren't aware about the energy centers in your body. Notice that they call them energy centers, and I like the author. Thank you. Crown, throat, third eye, heart, solar plexus, sacral, root, hands. We understand where this is rooted in, basically, but to me, this is how you can give that energy without necessarily appropriating. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. Anyway, so it wraps up, instead of it just like you're just done, it does wrap up with a little bit of information to kind of send you on your way. So yeah, I have the earlier book deck. You like, oh, I will. Oh, good. So thank you. Now that you said it, I have to get it because I was on the fence about that. But I love this so much, guys. I love this so much. I am going to be using these cards for my own personal readings because I like the message. Also, you know, you could use your oracle and tarot cards and your spell work, right? If you want to get into a certain energy, you want to tap into it, you want to lend the energy that's evoked from the card into your ritual, into your work. Just put it out there. Just have it out there. Meditate on it. Envision it. Write about it. Draw it. Whatever you need to do. That's all, by the way, forms of raising energy and things like that. But this is also cute. And it's simple on the back. But, I mean, is it fancy, super fancy? No, it's a little flimsy. But that's okay. I like it. I mean, I like the idea of it. You can kind of just have it stationary and then just use the top. But I think this is absolutely adorable. It's cute. I think it is informative. The information that's in here kind of puts you in the mindset of what it is that you're working on. You know, the that specific season. And for someone like me who does like to practice by the will of the year, yeah, I do like that. And just a little thing. Just because I say I practice by the will of the year doesn't mean I won't do certain spells because it's summer, it's not winter, so where I'm not allowed. In the same way, things that make sense to practice, let's say during the new moon, but it's a full moon. Guess what? If it needs to get done, it's getting done. I'm going to do the spell, right? That's how that's witches. And you can use your own judgment. You don't have to, it's not a rule. It's more, for me, it's a lifestyle. It's a choice. But I love this. I was so happy. It brought me joy. I couldn't wait to break open and really look at these cards. I didn't really look at them. I looked at them with you guys when I was just talking about it. But I love these so much. I think these are so cute. I love the imagery. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I mean, even just the details on the back. And they're just, it's so nice. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. Look at it. Like, I like all the little extra things around the sides, and you can kind of just look at this and think what you will from the card, right? Anyway, I'm getting lost in it. I love it so much. I think it's so nice. But anyway, yes, I think it's worth adding to your witchy library. If you want to add some cards, it was cheaper on Amazon than it was at Barnes and Noble, which, surprise, surprise. I get it. It's a whole publishing thing. I understand that Amazon will do that on purpose to get rid of all competitors. And it's working because, like I said, Barnes & Noble barely has much of anything. I felt like at one point they had a lot more, but now, like witchcraft books, they are kind of going hard on oracle cards and tarot cards. The sets, they have a good amount, like enough to fill up one of their little shelves. Which I thought was interesting, but I guess they can make more, they can charge, and also those are more expensive. Most of them are like $30, $40. There's a popular card deck that's out right now, and I was like, oh, that looks really interesting, and I saw how much it costs, and I was like, it's not so much about me not having the money, it just feels like a lot on those cards. Maybe I need to watch more reviews before I invest in, just to see for sure. I want to, tell me what those cards feel like. Like, what am I getting for $40? I think it was actually over $40. I need more information. I need more before I go over 40. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more. So anyway, so that's the book. That's the review on the book. Yes, I recommend it totally if you're interested. If you like imagery and that sort of stuff, and it gets you in that sort of witchy mind and you're practicing by the will of the year, or you would like to, I think this is really awesome to have. So, which deck? I don't want to be mean, but I think it's is it called Ethany? The latest one that they did, it was like over $40, and I don't want to do like knockoffs or anything like that, but because I don't like doing that. But I just thought they were a little pricey. I don't remember spending, like, I buy decks all the time, not all the time, but pretty often. I just don't want to. I felt like, what am I getting again? Like, what? It was pricey. It was a little pricey. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about witchcraft community and the importance of witchcraft community, especially now. So if you haven't heard by now, unless you're under a rock, the whole Roe v. Wade situation, it was struck down basically. That was something 50 years now. It held up. It was precedent. It was, for years that the far right conservatives have been, for 50 years, they've been trying to undo that and allowing abortions to be legally done federally. So that's gone now. So unfortunately, her decks are a bit overpriced in my opinion. Okay, thank you. It's not just me. I was like, I love to support, especially, but that's a little pricey. I'm not comfortable spending that kind of money on certain things. Like I'm just not comfortable spending that kind of money on card decks when I have some really awesome card decks that didn't cost anywhere that amount of money. But witchcraft community is going to be important going forward. To my practitioners, do your best at finding spaces virtually if you have to, but in person. I think it's going to be important. I'm going to have to do better myself with that. I've been living here in Arizona, it's been over 2 years, somewhere getting close to 3. And I felt, has it been that long? No. 2021. I told you I keep thinking 2020 and 2021 is 1 year. So I get confused. Wait. Almost. It's over 2 years. It's not 3 years yet. But with that time being here, my life is taking some twists and turns. So I'll just say that. Part of the twists and turns sort of is I'm at a reset right now. So I don't have witchy friends in person here. I don't have that yet. But I see it's going to be super important to build community because we're going to need people, a safe place for women. We're going to need a safe place for women. We should always have that, but I feel like the reason I emphasize witchiness, because I'm not going to go back and forth about Bible scriptures or anything like that. There are communities and things like that who help other people. Awesome. I don't feel like having my motivations being questioned because I'm not into the Bible, and I don't want to be in that type of space. And honestly, that's what happens if I've been in situations where you're dedicating your time or your resources to help others, and me not being Christian, it comes up because I don't walk around saying I'm not Christian. It's more like they are going in with their spill all the time, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to hear it. Oh, why not? Are you not? Then they ask, and then I say no because I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have this thing where I want to play mind games and do all that stuff. I'm just, no. I'm not, no. Oh, and then, what happens next is annoying, and I don't feel like going through that. So for witches, a community with witches who I think a good amount of witches that I've met over the years and that I know to this day have a moral compass. They're diligent, they care, and they're very empathetic, and they love the idea of helping people. And I say women because that's who's going to be affected. So if it means, a secret network, we already used to running under the radar and doing things. So it's like a network of people to drive you someplace or provide certain herbs to aid you for purposes, who better than witches, right? So I think it's going to be a time where we need to start fostering relationships. Now, if we can't, for whatever reason, if you're just not able to be out and about, because not everybody can leave home for whatever reason, physically speaking, hey, virtual counts. Virtual, it has to, because most of my witchy friends are all, I meet them virtually, so it has to count. But yeah, definitely go hard on that. So if you've kind of been kind of on the fence and, I don't know if I want to link up with other people, and you believe all this stuff, oh, people get jealous of you and they hex you and other witches do this. Maybe those witches did, but I don't know, in this day and age, a lot of practitioners who act like that, who think like that. I mean, find some witches you trust, and they don't have to be women, but find some. I'm comfortable in a space with predominantly women. Usually, it's nurturing to me. It's our spirit. It's just that femininity. For me, I feel very comfortable when it comes to my spirituality in that space. Just full disclosure. So I probably will always kind of make, when I think of witches, I most times, I'll be honest, I am gender wise, I'm thinking of women. No, not sexuality, just like actual born women, or born female, I should say. That's what my mind does go there. I'm just being fully honest. I don't think it's a right or wrong. And by the way, it's not weird or wrong, or not weird. It's not, you're not doing anything wrong because you think like that. I just said that, but at the same time, I'm a rational minded person, and I talk to people, and I realize not every witch is a woman. Or female presenting, or they are female presenting, but they weren't born in one. Listen, I'm comfortable with everything. I don't have a problem with that. But ideally, that is what I first think about. So when I think about community, and when I'm saying that, just to give you an idea, that's where I'm kind of coming from. So with all that being said, because I'm thinking about helping women, witches or not, helping women who might be in a hard situation, in a state that's difficult. I'm close to California. My state that I'm in, I know, is not a place that is going to want to help women going forward if they need to be in that situation that Roe v. Wade is talking about. I'm being very incognito. Y'all know what I'm meaning, though. I don't want any flags or any issues when I talk about this on this video, this live. But anyway, I'm close to California, which is a place where you can get help if you need that help, right? So I want to be in a community of witches who help other women, who can help them in that situation if need be. And they can feel safe and secure, because yes, we have the mundane things in place, but also we have magic in place to help protect us a little bit more. So that's why I think right now, more than ever, is an important time. And if you are doing all this virtually, it can translate to in person by a drive, just getting in your car and driving to be a part of something else if you need to, right? If we get the call. So I think it's important. So that's why I think it's super important to foster witchcraft community more now than ever. This is also a time for self-care. I know me personally, I cried when I told you I've been working crazy all week, and I've been up 5 a.m. almost every day this week. So, and just hustling, like it's been crazy. But anyway, I was doing that so much, I didn't realize what had happened. And then actually it was my daughter who sent me a text. She was at school, and she's like, she told me what happened, and I just sat there, and tears immediately came to my eyes. They stung my eyes. So I just sat there, like everything stopped. And I was just like, whoa. Wow. And a lot of emotion just overcame me. Just all the things that, ever since that leak got out about what the Supreme Court was going to do. And, people talking about their stories, their traumatic stories of why they came to the internet to explain why they had to get an abortion and how it saved their lives, and all these other horrible, traumatic stories of, someone being essayed and, it resulted in pregnancy, and, there being 12 or 13, like just horrible stories, which I hate that women had to do that. They weren't doing that, it's cleansing. It's more about, I'm doing this to convince you why it's important, all that. And here we are today. And I was thinking, I was super frustrated. I was so frustrated. Oh my gosh, y'all, I was so frustrated. I I had a lot to do before I went out and went to a happy hour. Just wondering, for me, my body's different right now, so I can only consume but so much. But yeah, anyway, I was very intuitive led yesterday, and that led me to Barnes and Noble, which led me to getting this, which brought me some joy in that moment on a very dark day. I will just say this: part of self care for me, it was going to happy hour. Not over, and I'm not saying go get drunk, but I had that one drink, and kind of that one drink relaxed me, and having some really good food also helped my spirit. It helped calm me down, kind of helped me take a step back within myself and, okay, experience. Like, it forced me to experience the situation, experience the effects of, let's say, a little bit of alcohol. Oh, I had a pure Cosmo. It was divine. So just a little bit of vodka in it. It was just right. Sometimes you have to go to like a good sports bar, but it's not a chain, and they do. It was good. Their appetizers were so tasty. I know I'm going on a whole tangent here, but anyway, that's how I got into a better space, because I kind of just separated myself. It's not that I wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking about it the whole time a little bit, but I was also trying to give myself space to enjoy the moment. So that's the self-care that I'm about to get into, kind of just being present in those little moments of enjoying your food. Like, really taste your food. We talk about this, but like, indulge. Make sure you are, especially at this time of year in the summer, it's all about pleasure, to be honest. Like, devour your food. Think about how it tastes, the texture, the scent, that all goes together, and just like really feel it, just really get into it. That's an act of self-care. You're being present, you're being aware of what you're putting into your body. It's not from a place of being criticizing. I don't care if it's McDonald's fries. Taste that saltiness on your tongue. Taste that crunch, that slight crunch but softness. The texture changes as you chew. How you want more once you eat one, like, get into it. There's no judgment here. It's more about finding ways to experience pleasure. For me, it's going to be food and good drink. I talk about that all the time. That's who I am. Probably got a little Taurus somewhere in my... Actually, I don't have a lot of Taurus in me, but I think maybe that's just a fire sign thing. Consuming a bit. Fire, consumes everything. Anyway, but yeah, I like a good meal. I like good flavors. It's not about the meal itself, because there's no judgment on that. It's more about just enjoying it and the pleasure of it, and a good drink. Whatever that is. It could be a mocktail, but the point is something flavorful, something good. And I just sit there and I kind of just surrender to that moment and surrender to all of it. And I'm not really thinking too much about anything else. Now, throw in some good conversation on top of it. Perfect. And I had very good company. So I had very good conversation that was not about anything political or anything else going on, just random stuff. So that was really good. And that was my self-care. And then another thing I did is I slept in. I slept in, and it felt so good because I worked so much anyway all this week. Did a lot of stuff this week, more than I normally work. But anyway, that felt so good to give myself over to just rest. So please rest. That's also radical self-care, is resting. We need to do that because we need to be able to recharge. We need to take care of ourselves because there's a lot of work that has to get done, which leads me into the politics and the witch. As much as a lot of people, to me, I call it, I'm not botheredism, because it's like a condition. This idea that, I don't know, it looks shallow to me, but people want to say, oh, I'm just so unbothered. I'm unbothered. No, none of that bothers me. It doesn't concern me. Okay, well, that's cute for you, I guess. Well, it does actually concern you, and it concerns all of us who live here. So just because you're not, seeking to get certain services done, or just because you haven't experienced it, doesn't mean it doesn't affect you, because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know what type of experiences you may come across that may have you looking to get that type of service. So it does affect you. I also find it interesting that when I say politics, a lot of people think party. This has already been a conversation because I was going kind of crazy on Friday in certain spaces. So let's just say that. But a lot of people think when you say politics, they automatically assume you mean which party affiliation. So politics, first off, I don't identify, I'll say I don't identify as being at this point a Democrat, or I don't identify with any party or Republican. Oh, well, what are you? It matters. You have to say what you are. I don't have to say anything. No, I don't. Who are you voting for? Well, who did you vote for? Well, I voted again. I picked the lesser of two evils. That's how I saw it, which it doesn't feel great, by the way. When I voted this last presidential election, I felt bad. I felt dirty. I hated having to put the vote to the person that I did, which was not Trump. So there you go. I didn't feel good about that decision. I don't like this person. I was disappointed at the number of people who even got him there, which oddly enough was a lot of black women in the South. Yeah, he comes down there, does a little shucking and jiving move, and they like that. They ate that up. Older ones. They like that. He could talk. His talk to them, and they just thought he was a good candidate. So they boosted him. I wonder a lot about Bernie Sanders. How would it have all been right now? What would have been like, right? Am I the only one that fantasizes about Bernie Sanders being president? Anyway, I'm off course. But yeah, politics. So it's not about a specific party. It's because Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat, actually. Technically, he's not, right? So it's not about party affiliation or anything like that. So when I say politics and the witch, I'm talking about a little bit of the social piece, fiscal, but a combination of both. It starts locally. So it's not a thing like, what are you doing? Because I'm not out here campaigning or holding up a sign or doing anything like that. But I do pay taxes, so I'm part of the political system, whether I choose to be or not, because they force me to pay taxes, property and sales and income. So I pay those things. So, locally and federally, I'm involved for that reason. We all are, by the way. The other thing is I am mindful. I'm learning about what's going on here. This is election time, so there's a lot of signs out who to vote for. And I make a point sometimes, my daughter and I will just pull up if we're out. We're like, who's that person? Who's that candidate? And we'll pull up their name, Google them, and try to get a little bit more information to find out more about who these people are. And that's kind of my light way of into politics, locally speaking, because I feel still brand new here, honestly. I am registered to vote, obviously, because I did vote and I was living here during the last presidential election. So that's also participating in politics, being registered to vote and actually voting. Trying to get some type of education on who these politicians are that are running, who's currently in office. Just learn enough to know who's who are the players. That's how I would suggest, as you as the witch. Find out who the local players are. And then you can kind of work from there. To me, I feel like there's a system. There's this big system when we talk about government, local government, to federal. Local, city, county, state. Before we want to talk about federal. I feel like there's a system. There's a machine, right? And that machine is being fed with our tax dollars. And that we the people, are not in control of that machine. Let's just be honest, we're not. That machine is manufactured, it is maintained, it is repaired by people we never know. We talk about the top 1%. Yeah, those are the ones who are keeping the machine. They manufactured it. So since they designed and manufactured that machine, it works for them. Every now and then, it gives some little byproduct that might be beneficial to us common folk, who outnumber the 1%, obviously. But that engine is filled with a lot of intention. It's filled with a lot of strong magic from many, many years ago. from their ancestors, that top 1% that came before it, is fueled with that energy. So as witches, what we need to understand is that's just on the local level. We didn't even get on the federal level and what that entails. Um, Something to keep in mind. I don't want to make it seem like there's nothing we can do, because I don't believe that. And I'll get into that in a moment, but I'm going to read this here. We need girl-powered magic. Male practitioners can be allies, but they need to listen to women and let us take the lead on this. Thank you. You said that better than I tried to stumble earlier. Honestly, Bernie, 45, and Biden are too old to run for this nation. I agree. We need younger politicians in higher seats to bring the change. Boy, do we. Like I said, that's, to me, I feel like it's a big machine. And to make, we almost would need to be able to get a secret engineer to go in and tinker enough to break the machine. So let's talk about what it means to break the machine. Right now, I'm still on the local level: state, county, city, township. What does it mean to break the political machine? As witches, that's where we come in. That's our role in politics. To break that machine, to get that engineer, we can employ magic. We can employ rituals, unified. We don't have to be practicing at the same time in the moment, but we kind of all on the same agenda, the same intention. Yeah, that's powerful. That is really powerful. And that might be enough to throw a kink, a cog, to make a screw loose, at least in that machine, long enough for it to slow down. So you have to look at it like this and take it in bits. If we can get, one part of that machine to slow down a bit, we can infiltrate it with something else. And now we're in. And once you're in, you can do all kinds of damage and repair. See, the machine government wasn't built for us, the common person, us being, first of all, women. It wasn't built for women. None of this was made with women in mind. That's why they had to make all these amendments and things like that for women. And also, obviously, for people of color. There were amendments that had to be made because we weren't people. So when I'm saying it's a machine that was built not for us to actually live and reap any real benefits from, that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. So in order for us to make real change, I think there's two schools of thought. As witches, is to unite on the same intention. How you go about doing that, that's up to the practitioner. But we need to get on the same intention about how are we going to do it. Remember when I talked about getting to know locally who's who are the players? Yeah, you're going to need that, because we might need to print out pictures and such to work some magic, right? Start with your governor. Start with your governor. Get a picture and let's just start there, because I think that they need to reap what they've sown. It's funny because I saw a TikTok earlier this morning. She looked like somebody's sweet old grandma. She had her nose pierced though, but she was an elder for sure. Sweet looking. Look like she needs to be baking somebody some cookies. Gray hair, little chubby cheeks, and she was saying, I appreciate people who things happen and you just say, hey, that was a lesson I learned from it. And she said, I'm not a good person because that's not me. No, I want you to pay. She's like, call it petty. And I want your karma to come to you, she said. And I want you to know I was the one that helped facilitate it for it to get to you as fast as it did. That would be me. I realized that when I saw that, I got so tickled, because that is how I think. I do want you to know it was me, if it's possible. No. So in this case, not me personally, but us witches, us people who manipulate energy, us practitioners, us spiritualists, occultists. Yeah, remember when all those witches talked about getting Donald Trump out, right? They did get him out, by the way. He didn't win. A lot of people look at that differently, but to me, they won. They got what they wanted. Now, keeping him out is going to require some more magic. But I think that magic did work. I did. And as far as now, yeah, we can start with that. Start with your governor. That's the intention. We'll start there. We'll start there. And yeah, let's see what we can do. I'm in Arizona, so I know y'all Texans. Please start with yours because he's a wild one. Let's get him to a couple other states as well. But I know for a fact, yeah, Amazon. Excuse me, I said Amazon, Arizona and Texas. I think I'll do both. I think I'll do both. I can work on both. I got that kind of energy. All the rage, the hurt, the anger, the the emotions that come with understanding what's going to happen to women who are not able to find a network of people to help them and whisk them away to a safe place, or for those who may not be in a position to physically go to a safe place, whether it's resources because of money, they can't take off because we are in this economic space that we're in now where the rent is just way too high, gas is too high, food is high, everything is just high. So what are we, how we're, even if you got a ride, where are you getting the money? Because you got to pay for that, right? Where are you getting the money to do all that? So that's a whole other situation. It saddens me. It hurts. I'm trying to honestly keep my emotions intact right now because thinking about it is just so, I don't know. I have to remember we are not defeated. The other part of this is if you are a practitioner or witch and you're like, what do I do? I'll be honest with you. Another part is abandon ship if you so choose to. If you want to leave this country, I totally understand. It's something I have been thinking about for some time. But at this rate, because I understand that if this happens, other things are to follow. They're gunning for gay marriage. And there was a time people said this would never happen. I'm at the point now, and I really think they're going to figure out a way to put Trump. Please let me be wrong. Let me look back on this live and be like, girl, you was tripping. You was wrong. But I think they're going to find a way to put Trump back in. And it's not something about, I'm afraid they're going to put him in. No, it's just, they dropped, the same way they dropped the hints about what was going to happen with Roe v. Wade being overturned. Remember, things were leaked. Well, there was something else recently leaked about this organization, and they're talking about how they're going to get Trump back in office, and it doesn't sound very lawful, and it does sound scary for the rest of us. Yeah, but that's happening. And his support, he still has very convinced supporters that he is coming back, and that it was rightfully unlawfully taken from him, the president. And they support him, they will go, and I think he's probably picked up even more, which is, it just tells you hate is yet another emotion, another energy out here that stems from fear, and which is why we're even in this place, because it's all fear-based. This idea that the brown people are taking over this country, it scares these older men, back to your point, the Princess Diaries, to getting some new blood, some young blood in these spaces, in these political spaces, these offices, these government offices and positions is going to be super necessary, because look what's happening. The old guard is holding strong. They feel like it's been breached. There's that other thing that's happened that was kind of sneaky, where the border states around this entire country, they have laws. Excuse me. There's now, you have basically no rights anymore. If they suspect something, they can come up in your house because you don't have that protection anymore because you're in a border state. So that's all of Florida when you really think about it, and parts of Texas, and they're okay with it because think about who that affects. Who do the police go after the most? Whose house they busting into, searching for whatever because they got a call or a drop or whatever suspicion. We already know it's black and brown folk, right? So yeah. And then you get detained, and then I don't know if it was, was that at where no, that's a federal thing, where if you are detained and you get an attorney didn't represent you correctly, didn't get all the facts and all the information, that you can't get your case looked at again. Like, it's just the final word, that's it. Oh. When I think about all this, it pisses me off so bad. It does make me just want to run and leave. Um, I think a lot about going to Mexico. I actually have a family member who already did his black sit, because that's what they call it, a black sit. He's did his, and he seems to be thriving. He's been there. I think he says it's been about 2 years now. So I don't know, if not Mexico. I mean, if I have to, I'll go to some place, Canada, I guess, to get the hell. I don't want to be in Canada. It's too cold. Maybe Mexico. I think I could figure out. I'm Arizona. I'm so close. I could just drive there. One of the main reasons I like the idea of starting there, and then maybe going further out is because I can take my car. I can drive to Mexico. I can drive to Canada. I don't want to, but I could. Or, I mean, you can have it towed. It's very expensive, but it's doable versus trying to take, you can't take your car to a different, like, Portugal, where I was also thinking, that's not going to work. So then I'd have to give that up. But, maybe part of living in Portugal is not needing a car. I think about these kind of things, but my point is I'm already thinking about my personal escape. But while I'm here, I think the biggest thing that I can do is to know who are the players, the political players, where I'm at locally, get pictures of my governors, print them out, do my spells. Y'all hear me? Do my spells. If you are Wiccan, or if you at least believe in the whole Wiccan law, the times three, the threefold law, use that energy and put it on them. Don't think about it as an individual thing. Oh, it's going to come back to me. No. What they've done is going to come back to them. So you're just going to influence that energy and make sure that happens. Make sure it comes back to them. Because these people are governors, these politicians, they're not moral people. They don't care. It's all about power and money for them. I think most politicians are narcissistic people anyway. How can you not be a politician? Even the good ones, so to speak. I mean, you have to have a little bit of narcissism, something a little bit to me to be a successful politician. Just my opinion. I do. It doesn't mean you're like a psychopath, but I think you just have to have just a wee bit of narcissism somewhere in your behavior to be able to pull that job off. And if you know anything about narcissists or people who have that type of social or behavior disorder, they have tells, and you can learn them and you can use it against them. They can be defeated. A lot of people think a narcissist can't be defeated. Yes, you can defeat a narcissist. You just don't give them the attention. Vote against somebody else. Sometimes it might come down to a lesser of two evils. One of the things that pissed me off is when Hillary ran against Trump, and I didn't care. Let's be clear. I don't love Hillary Clinton. I didn't like my choices, but it would have helped us if it was her than him, even though she's part of the old guard as well. She's also, I believe, racist. Yes, I do believe that. I believe that she projects something publicly because she wants our votes. But the way that we make people go away is to not vote for them and to withdraw our energy. Don't give them the energy. That's what it looks like to a politician, not voting for him, not showing up for him. It doesn't mean going online and making fun of their supporters. It doesn't mean, attacking them. It's more about just don't give them energy at all. The politician, that is. And their supporters on some level, because they're in their bubble, right? They're in their bubble. Here's the thing I love about most liberals. Because you got your crazy ones over there too. A lot of them, we're fully aware of what I call them the crazies. Let's just be honest. We understand what those crazy far right people are doing. We know that they have little training camps out in rural areas where they're preparing for race wars and things like that. It started with the zombie apocalypse. Remember, they were saying that they meant race wars. That's what they were training for, and getting their food stored up and learning how to shoot and hunt and all that, because the race war is going to happen. And I do believe if Trump comes in, that's something we have to be very concerned about. Look at January 6th. These people are still, I mean, look what just those guys that was in the back of like a truck or a van onto a pride event. Can't remember what state that was in, but they were arrested. The police are getting death threats. Who arrested them? Like this is, but go blue. It's a crazy, crazy time, but I always, in a way, it humbles me and realigns me. These are crazy, crazy times, yes, yes. But there was a time I wouldn't even been able to do this, even if this technology existed. Because there was technology of that time. I was not considered a person, and my life was not my own. My decisions were never my own. And it wasn't just because I was a woman. It was because I'm a black woman. And I was not considered human. So why take my feelings into account or my opinions? I would never even be able to express. I wouldn't be able to write, read. Those are the really bad times. Those, I think about that. And I don't like to compare traumas, but it unsettles me, it humbles me, and it lets in all at the same time, and then reminds me, if they found a way to go on, my ancestors, your ancestors, if they found a way to hope and just have to believe that there was one day it was going to be different. They don't know how it was going to be different one day. One day. If they found the hope in those dark times, just generationally speaking, dark times, and they still held out hope, yeah, I can hold out hope. That hope for me might mean looking at y'all from another country at some point and saying, hey, y'all fight the good fight, or you know what, I can help y'all come over here. Whatever that means. But yeah, those are my thoughts. My thoughts are so scattered about this because it's all new, it's all fresh. And I know more is coming. So it's like, before I focus too much on this, I know they're about to do something else. It was already leaked. They're coming for gay marriage, y'all. They're coming. Oh, they're going to come for interracial marriage. Y'all know that, right? They're coming for interracial marriage. And then other rights are going to be taken. Be concerned about those border states. Be concerned about that as a practitioner, as a witch. Make sure that if you've never really been, I'm a cottage witch, so I'll definitely take a lot of time kind of protection work around my home, in and around. Get into it. Get more into that right now. This is a perfect time because you're going to need that protection. Those old wives' tales about doing certain things. I was watching a movie last night, another escape. Self-care moment of self-care. I watched the new version of Father and the Bride is on HBO Max. It's so sweet, but they even have a little moment in that. So the new Father of the Bride movie, the Father of the Bride, if you saw the first one, I love that one. The new one, they're Cuban, and then the man that his daughter is marrying, his family, they're Mexican. So that's an interesting thing, right? So and things come up. But one of the things that was happening is that the weather, they were at the engagement party and the weather was turning bad. It was taking place in Miami. So they start burying knives into the ground. Let me know if you're watching this on a replay or whatever. What I got to look that up, what that means. But they were burying knives to change the weather. So they were frantically trying to hurry up and do it. So first it was the mother of the groom to be, and then the father was like, come on, we got to go start rehearsal. It's like, do you see the weather? And he's looked up and saw how bad it was. He's like, give me some of those knives. And he's hurry up and they're just aggressively putting them into the ground. Oh, I hope they're okay. But yeah, and I just saw that. I was like, okay, I'm with that. Superstition, what have you, but bury some knives for this political weather, for this crazy weather that we're experiencing right now, to turn the tides, to turn things around, or at least, if anything, to protect you and yours while we try to help each other. So I will end it here. I'm trying to put a positive light. I'm trying to keep positive. I feel hurt. I'm hurt by everything. I know who this will affect. I know the bad side of what this ruling does, this overturning does to women, and it hurts. And yeah, y'all, we gonna see some murders happening, Some babies are going to be murdered. Women will die doing, we're back to back alley abortions is coming. People, and now we got the internet and we got people who will be giving false information, dangerous information on how to perform certain things. And it's going to get some people hurt, killed, most likely. We're going to have women who are, we'll be back to dumping babies. Remember that was a thing? The high school girls? Yeah. Don't be surprised if we're seeing more about that. But, once you're born in this country, you're not looked out for, you're not cared for. But, for some reason, they're claiming they want to help. They just want to grow their numbers. These people feel, they feel like they're losing something. They're afraid that if more brown people overtake them in numbers and population in this country, that we'll do what they've done to us, to them. The thing about it is, most, I don't know where y'all from, but I've had an opportunity. I grew up north. My adult years raising my kids was mostly in the South. And I'm now on the West Coast. And one thing I know to be true is that most of the people that I come across that look like me, we tend to be some of the most welcoming, opening. We got some stuff with us. We ain't gonna talk about homophobia. That's another conversation. But most of us are very open, and we embrace you, especially people who don't even look like us. We'll bring you in. Oh, honey, come on in. Come on. You never had somebody's grandmom come up to you and call you baby and say, it's all right, baby. And in that moment, you just feel, it's like, oh, she called me baby. And it just feels so good, by the way, I can't wait to be that. I can wait, but I look forward to being that type of elder that does that makes you feel good. Hey, baby, come on over here. I got you, being one of those type. But we're very nurturing. We're very loving people. And even when so many wrongs have been done against us, at the Black people meetings, we are not talking about taking over and doing bad things to those who have done bad to us. It hasn't come up on the agenda in all of my 40 plus years at those Black people meetings. So I'll end it here. So thanks for watching. I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Again, if you're catching this on a replay, if you have some other witchy ideas, remember, so far we're starting with just the governors. We'll start with the governors, and we'll work from there. So look forward to more steps that we can do, but we'll start with the governors. So get your pictures of your governors. We don't have to just do our states. We can do all the different states where we need to focus on that, right? And we'll just start there. All right, so thanks for watching. Get the book. They come with the 28 oracle cards, the cute little wheel. So this is cute. So get this. This is, and the illustration is honestly worth everything. And the book encourages you to keep notes because it gives you those little folders so you can add your notes and things like that to it, and answer those writing prompts and things like that. So, which I love things like that. So yeah, get into it. And practice your self-care, whatever that is. I gave y'all just a clue into what mine is, a little unconventional, but sensory, being present and getting in tune with your senses is an act of self-care. And it's also a very witchy thing to do, by the way. So if that's all you got, that's what you can do as well. All right, bye. Thanks for watching. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate those who have already done so. And if you would consider hitting the join button, go ahead and do so. I have two videos, or a video talking about my 2 different memberships. And if you're interested in any of the services I offer, go ahead and head over to leaptaken.com. All right, now I'm done. All right, bye.